The following program was produced by the United States Courts.
Vietnam veterans served their country and risked their lives only to be faced with a lifetime of serious health issues linked to a chemical defoliant used by the government, Agent Orange. Unable to get satisfaction from Congress or the VA, the veterans turned to the courts, where a former Navy veteran sitting on the federal bench in Brooklyn got involved.
It was obvious right from the beginning that the case was a political-legal case, not a technological case in the sense that they could prove that Agent Orange actually caused all the diseases that the veterans were afraid of.
I thought at one time I was very fortunate until a number of years later when I started getting symptoms, was tired all the time and had open heart surgery because of it and developed diabetes.
I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. We were in charge of fixing, repairing, servicing boats, and a lot of these boats were used to spray Agent Orange and napalm defoliant.
The thing that struck me was the silence. There was no bugs flying around, no animal sounds. It was basically a dead zone.
2.4 million veterans had similar concerns, and in 1979, a class action lawsuit was filed.
The veterans were treated dreadfully at that time. I, as a veteran, had a great deal of empathy for them. I traveled the country holding hearings all over and understood their sense of frustration and fear. And so I appointed a number of special masters to help settle.
The innovative use of special masters was one of Judge Weinstein's keys to success. Neither side in the Agent Orange case could be certain of winning. The veterans were faced with proving the chemical caused a long and varied list of health problems. The chemical companies faced losing billions of dollars in punitive damages if found liable. A special master could help open their eyes to their blind spots.
The judge couldn't say that, but the special master could. It was a case management technique that had rarely been used.
Just hours before, thousands of Vietnam veterans were supposed to be represented in court against 7 chemical companies. There was an out-of-court settlement.
In 1984, the veterans' case came to a successful close, securing $180 million for the veterans.
Judge Weinstein was determined, if at all possible, within the rule of law, to provide the Vietnam veterans with some indication that society was behind them. And the Agent Orange settlement was that vindication.
The settlement paved the way for the U.S. government and the VA to treat millions of vets with problems ranging from cancer to unseen genetic damage to their children. The case had other lasting outcomes. It set the state for future mass tort cases that had major repercussions for Americans, such as asbestos litigation, to the tobacco cases of the 1990s, to the pharmaceutical cases in recent years.
The things that Judge Weinstein has done in the world of mass torts has had implications far beyond his courtroom. He developed a body of law on how to settle and resolve mass torts, which other courts, other litigants have followed.
Weinstein's deft handling of the Agent Orange case showed what could be done by a determined judge with a deep and agile knowledge of the law, a willingness to push the envelope, and a fervent belief in the words justice for all.
He is a voice for the powerless, for those who are in need of a helping hand. He is a voice for fairness. He is a voice for equal justice under the law.
From quite humble beginnings, as a son of immigrants driving a truck on the docks in Brooklyn to put himself through law school, he went on to become a legal scholar at Columbia University and the author of the definitive guide to the federal rules of evidence. In the mid-1960s, he attracted the notice of Senator Robert Kennedy, who recommended Weinstein for a seat on the federal bench. He was appointed by President Lyndon B. Johnson in 1967. In legal circles, he's legendary for his quick mind, legal creativity, and his savvy administration of complex multi-party cases, making Weinstein one of the most influential judges of his time.
No matter what one does, Judge Weinstein does it better. He's charming, he's wry, he has a great sense of humor, he's interested in practically everything.
The case that is most significant for me in my experiences with Judge Weinstein relate to the mass tort litigation on the subject of asbestos.
Employees of the Manville Corporation, the largest producer of asbestos products, filed health claims against the company. As a result, the Manville Personal Injury Settlement Trust was established in 1988. In the first 10 years, the trust paid over $2.5 billion to claimants.
The trust quickly began to run out of money, and a class action was brought before Judge Weinstein in which the trust was to be restructured. And the problem of running out of money inevitably led to the question, who's going to protect the interests of the people who aren't sick today, but are going to be sick tomorrow?
Judge Weinstein developed an innovative restructuring that improved the claim settlement and distribution processes, stabilizing the fund and freeing up money for future victims. Weinstein is also known for his unorthodox personal style. He doesn't wear a robe and often comes down from the bench to talk eye to eye with participants in the cases before him. He likes to get an up-close and personal feel for the cases.
As he told me once, he said every time he gets a new case, it's a whole new story. He is always mindful that when we talk about cases and we talk about the docket, what we're talking about are living, breathing human beings who are due proper respect, who are due their day in court.
It's his civility, his graciousness, his generosity of spirit, the way that he treats everybody with extraordinary respect and courtesy, I think is notable, noteworthy, and something to be celebrated and to be emulated.
Thank God for people like Judge Weinstein, because little guys like us didn't stand a chance.
In 2017, Judge Weinstein celebrated 50 years on the bench, and the ceremonial courtroom in the federal courthouse in Brooklyn was named in his honor.